If you're looking for debt relief options, then Chapter 13 bankruptcy should definitely be considered along with other options available to you. I think Chapter 13 is one of the most powerful and most flexible options available and is the best one for many consumers. Many people I talk to think that bankruptcy should be considered only as a last resort, but I think this is the wrong way to approach the problem. The reason most people think that bankruptcy should be the last resort is because of negative stigma that so many people still attach to bankruptcy filing. I'll bet you that GM didn't consider any kind of stigma when it decided to file bankruptcy. It was simply a business decision, and the best business decision for GM was to file bankruptcy. I think that you should consider all options equally and put aside your personal concerns and feelings to the extent that you can, so that you can arrive at the very best decision for yourself. All options should be considered equally: credit counseling, debt management programs, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Because I'm a certified credit counselor as well as a board-certified bankruptcy specialist, I always tell my clients to review all options so that we're sure to get the right solution. Chapter 13 is a particularly powerful tool. Many people use Chapter 13 because it's the only way to stop a foreclosure and save their home. By filing a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you will be given up to 5 years to catch up your missed payments. Chapter 13 bankruptcy stops foreclosure as soon as the case is filed. You can even file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy up to the day before the sheriff's sale and still save your home. Sometimes you'll want to consider Chapter 13 because you have property that would be taken away from you by a Chapter 7 trustee if you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Although Ohio exemption laws have greatly improved over the last several years, it's still possible that you may have an asset, for example a car that's totally paid for, that would be lost if you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. You could file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy and keep the car by paying some money into the Chapter 13 case to make up for the value of the car. Some folks have enough money to pay some of their debt. The law says if you have enough money to pay some of your debt, you should pay some of your debt. Perhaps you don't have enough to pay all of your debt, but in a Chapter 13, you can pay what you can afford. There's a formula that's used to determine how much of the debt you'll have to pay back. The formula is based on your income, your family size, your housing expenses, and other factors. An experienced Chapter 13 bankruptcy attorney will be able to walk you through the process and explain how this will work, so you'll know how much you should expect to pay in your Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Finally, there are some debts that are not dischargeable in any kind of a bankruptcy, but could be paid back in a Chapter 13. For example, if you have a significant amount of tax debt, you could pay the tax debt back in a Chapter 13, and normally you'll pay no interest on the tax debt. This allows you to pay back the taxes in an affordable way. Finally, if you're in a Chapter 13 bankruptcy and your income changes so that you're no longer able to pay the Chapter 13 payment plan, oftentimes the Chapter 13 can be modified or even converted to a Chapter 7. So once you file a Chapter 13, you are not necessarily locked in to that payment plan for the entire life of the plan. You can dismiss the Chapter 13 if you need to, if your circumstances warrant it.